Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're installing Docker on Kali, and before we get into commands, I want to clear up something that trips a lot of people up when they're first learning how to do all this. There are three programs that easily get confused. There's Docker Compose, and then there's Docker Desktop. These are three different programs, and knowing which one you actually need matters, especially in a distro like Kali, where you're usually working headless or over SSH. Docker, or more specifically the Docker engine, is the core runtime. It's what exactly builds images and runs containers. When people say I installed Docker, this is usually what they mean. It comes with Docker CLI, which lets you do things like Docker run, Docker build, Docker PS, one container at a time. Docker Compose is a tool that sits on top of Docker Engine. Instead of running containers one by one with a bunch of flags, you define your whole setup. All your containers, your networks, your volumes, your environmental variables, all of it is in one single YAML file, and Compose stands the whole thing up with one command. If you've got a multi-container setup, say a web app plus a database plus a reverse proxy, Compose is what makes that manageable instead of typing in 5 long Docker run commands every time. Docker Desktop is a completely different thing. It's a GUI application for Mac and Windows that bundles the Docker engine, Compose, and a VM to run Linux containers on non-Linux hosts, and a desktop UI on top of all of it. Docker Desktop does have a Linux version now, but it's aimed at people who want to use the GUI experience, and it's honestly overkill for a Kali box you're mostly driving from the terminal or over SSH. So on Kali, what we actually want is Docker engine, no desktop, no GUI, just the CLI tool. Okay, so we know we are on a fully updated machine, but it's just good habit to make sure you do sudo apt update every time. Next, what we're going to do is just sudo apt install y docker.io, and this is just coming from the Kali repositories. I'll leave the commands up so you guys can see it as we go. All right, now we're going to enable Docker. And now we'll run Docker. So we can see it recognized it, Docker command options, perfect. And now we'll test Docker. And there you go. We have installed Docker and confirmed that it's working for us. At this time, when you're trying to use Docker, any Docker command that you use is going to ask you for sudo. Now it's set up to do that way to keep it secure. So if I wanted to do Docker PS right now, sudo Docker PS, and that command would show me everything that's currently running. If you don't want to do that every time you're in the lab environment, you know things are pretty safe, you can use this command here to put your current user into the Docker group that allow you to do things without having to run sudo every time. Now for this to work, I have to restart the system. I'm not going to do that, but the command is there for you so you can use it on your own. Just make sure once you've added this new user, which is the user that you're logged in as, restart the system, and you'll be able to use Docker as that user without having to sudo every time. So to recap, Docker Engine is the runtime that actually runs containers. Compose is the tool that lets you define and manage multiple container setups from a single YAML file, and Docker Desktop is a GUI wrapper for Mac and Windows that we don't need it all on Kali. And that's the video. If this helped you out, please let me know, drop a like, subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.